Hey, my name is Chris Bosley. I live in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. It's the 21st. Well, it's the 22nd now. It's about 1 in the morning, 22nd of April, 2017. So, what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today was explore a little bit on the phone. I wanted to talk about backdoors, intentionally designed backdoors placed in telephones, cell phones, probably placed in a lot more devices, like for example smart TVs, and other cameras, anything that's digital. Why stop at just cell phones when you can do it to everything that has, cameras have recorders, video recorders, cameras have wireless now, cameras have, basically I think they're, the whole world, all the digital devices in the world are being designed to allow for remote access and remote control and remote exploit. Basically, everybody carries around their own spy device, and as long as you know how to access it, you can do anything you want. Access any information about anybody, their phone, their camera, their computer, etc., etc. So today I'm going to explore a little bit about my phone. We got this phone this year, in 2016, at the end of 2016. So before I do that, I'm just gonna go and look at a website here. So I'll just open this website, the hackernews.com, and this article is on hacker backdoor, intentionally placed backdoor software and hardware likely as well in cell phones. So we got pre-installed, hackernews.com is the site, pre-installed backdoor in on 700 million Android phones, probably more, from China, created in China, or phones sending, well, the phones are made in China, and they're sending data back to China. So basically, it was this this backdoor was found by CryptoWire, security researchers. It's located in the firmware. Um, the firmware, and this article was 2016, November 15th. So just shortly before I bought this phone, actually, about maybe 4 months before I bought this phone. So anyways, here we are, and the idea is that there's a backdoor in the phone. It sends text messages, call data, contact lists, location history, app data to China. So it's located in the firmware. It's firmware software, so it cannot be removed and it cannot be deleted. And companies such as ZTE and Huawei are using it on theirs. It has it on this phone I have is ZTE, and it's on this phone. So what it does is there's it collects here on this little point form here, collects and sends SMSs and a whole bunch of other things. Horrible, actually, pretty crazy what it can do. It can basically do anything it wants. Here at the very bottom of the list, update and remove apps, update the phone's firmware and reprogram the device, execute remote commands with elevated privileges on the user's device. So basically it can do anything it wants, and it can be done remotely. So no user can disable it because it's in the firmware, and nobody can remove it. And this phone, there's many things on this phone, many applications that I cannot remove and I cannot disable. So here it is, right here. It's com.adups.fota.sysoper, and this is on my phone. ZTE says that the spokesperson for ZTE said that there's here on this bottom here, it says, "We confirm that no ZTE devices in the US have ever had the adups software cited in recent news reports installed on them, and will not. ZTE blah blah blah. So anyways, this is Australia, and this phone that I bought has it on this phone. And they claim that it was just for China. Here, they claim it was just for China, that it was intended to improve Chinese user behavior, and that it wasn't used in the West, but this is Australia, and it's on this phone right here. And what's more, I think it's intentional, and I think that people know about. There's certain people that know about it, because I know that since I've lived here, I think evidently this has been exploited. This software has been exploited. adups.foto.sysoper on this phone. So the hackernews .com, and the title of the article is pre-installed backdoor right there, so check it out. Okay, so I just went into apps, into system, and then apps. This is all my apps, and what I'm looking at is launcher. I'm going to look at two applications. One of the applications, Launcher3. This is the home screen for this phone, for this ZTE. And I guess before I go too far, let's actually look at the specs on this phone. So this is a ZTE zip. It's made by ZTE, the company. Its model number is Blade A110. The Android version is 5.1. And the CPU, the processor for this phone, is made by a company called MediaTek. MTK or MediaTek. So now let's go back to apps. What we're going to do is we're going to look at this launcher. And what I want to show is, first I just want to show launcher here that it's stopped and there's zero bytes in data. And then we'll also want to look and explore UpgradeSys, and it has 0 bytes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the radio here. I'm going to turn it on, and when the radio turns on, I want to explore these apps and see what happens. So the radio turned on. I had it in airplane mode, and the radio turned on. I always have this phone in airplane mode, and I never use my Wi-Fi, and I never use Bluetooth. It's always off. So we'll go back up to launcher here. See, launcher was triggered. It gained 28.52 kilobytes in cache on the bottom there, and it also got 60 kilobytes in data. And we'll go back to upgrade system, and upgrade system got 92 kilobytes in data. So I'm going to clear it. I'll stop it. Okay. I moved up to launcher. I'm gonna clear that. So I'm gonna clear it. It's zeroed out. I'm gonna stop it. Okay. And now I'm gonna turn off my radio. I'll put it back into airplane mode. I'll turn it off. And we'll go back and we'll look. Launcher 3 is not triggered. It's still 0. We'll go down to update, but upgrade system was triggered, and it did get 92 kilobytes of data. So something is populating these applications, providing these applications with data. The radio turning on triggers upgrade system to get data, and it also triggers launcher 3 application to get data, and turning radio off triggers upgrade system to get data. So I do not use launcher. I use a different application. Pardon me. There was lots of things that were happening with launcher that made me suspicious about it being used in attacks and exploits. This is a very aggressive and hostile environment, and I thought that the launcher was being used by the Anglicans, Presbyterians, Baptists, etc., students of Moore Theological Bible College here, which is an Anglican Bible College, Moore, M-O-O-R-E, and I think that the attacking using Launcher3. Now, it's not just students. There's a couple other people involved that are not students as well, third-party people. The Anglican Church, by watching them and evidently by the behavior that I've observed, the Anglican Church and its affiliates utilize third-party people that claim they're not involved with the church to do, dirt for them. But I know for a fact that many students that are attending this school and have attended this school and have since moved on were engaged in computer attacks. So So here we're back in apps now, and I wanted to show you that system updates is disabled, and backup and restore is disabled. Upgrade system continues to work, and it cannot be disabled and it cannot be removed. Here's Launcher3. When I got this application, this Launcher3, this is a Google launcher. It was for a search bar. It was installed with the phone. And the other launcher is Launcher3 is for the home screen, and for evidently it's used even after I disabled it. It is still being used, and it's still being triggered by radio being turned on and off. So what I wanted to show you here was a principle, or what I want to do is I have it disabled. What I want to do is enable it. Notice there's no data and there's no cache. I just enabled it. That's all I did. Now we're going to go back to applications, and what I want to do is I want to go down to my launcher application. Okay, I found it. There's my launcher application, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that it was triggered by print spooler. Now print spooler, when I enabled print spooler, it triggered and it gave cache 28.52, which is exactly the same if you rewind the video as launcher received when the radio was turned on, and it gained 60 kilobytes of data, which is the same amount of data that Launcher 3 was given when the radio was turned on. So when the radio turns on, here's an interesting thing. I have quite a bit of a little bit of data left. I have to be really careful with data, because if I use too much, or if I use, that's not what I want. If I use too much, it's a 22nd today, or if I leave too much space in the phone, the Anglicans use it and they take it away. I've got 72 gigabyte or megabytes, pardon me. But the attackers, they steal phone and then they set it aside for themselves. Like like sometimes space on my disk disappears or appears for no reason. So I always keep my phone full, or I try to keep my phone full. Now I mentioned I tried to keep my phone storage full, because if I don't, the phone just acts horrible. They stop and start a whole bunch of applications, they fill up memory, and then the phone just bogs down and is just harsh. Plus, data just appears and disappears randomly. Apparently, evidently, I would think or guess that they're taking disk space and they're reallocating it and saving it in DRM, and then they use that to store their own data, which is collected from the phone, and then they bounce it from DRM over to their system when it is when they have an opportunity. So here is Launcher3, and what I'm going to here is 60 kilobytes, and cache is 28.52 kilobytes. So I'm going to clear that data. I'm going to stop it. Then I'm just gonna quickly scroll down to upgrade system, and I'll show you that nothing, no data and no cache. Now I'm going to go back up to, pardon me, I'm going to go back up to print spooler. Remember, I enabled it. I'm going to go up to print spooler, and now I'm going to disable it. So I'm going to disable it, and then I'm going to go back up to launcher. So here's launcher, and remember it was 0. Well, disabling it filled it with the same data. Cache is 28.52, and kilobytes is cleared. So you can see that radio enable automatically starts launcher and updater, and also the print spooler also starts launcher and updater. One interesting thing is that I noticed when I was doing this is that cache for these is getting, the print spooler has 0 cache and 0 data, and yet launcher is gaining cache and data from somewhere else because the print spooler has none. So it's somehow triggering launcher and to get data. Upgrade system is not affected by it. So why am I interested in these two systems? Okay, so I went into this application auto starts, and this shows you what applications start automatically and what what um, is part of those applications. So what those applications, what components make them up. So upgrade systems aggregated like of several different components, and look at this application info on this here is com.adups.fota.sysoper, and that's the backdoor that was talked about in the hackernews website. And application removed, adups.foto.sysoper, and application replaced, adups.foto.sysoper. So whenever I turn on my radio, or whenever I turn off my radio, upgrade system is affected, and so is launcher. And